I have a question. This is regarding Gerda. Does she have like classes with you once a month maybe, or once every couple months, or does she have her own thing?
Um, you're gonna have to ask Gerda. So, she does master classes sometimes.
Okay.
All right, guys, so we are all done with day 5 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. I'm super, super, super duper excited that we made it throughout the week. So we have been together for 5 days now, and we have been together collectively, usually 4 hours per day, Monday through Friday. So we went through a lot, but specifically today, we were focused on transferring assets. So initially, we went through the asset inventory. We went and actually applied for our EINs for our family trust. Then I showed you guys how to actually fill out the quitclaim deed for your real estate that you want to transfer into the trust. Then I showed you how to actually fill out the bill of sale so that you can transfer your title of your vehicle into the trust. And lastly, we just went through a business purchase agreement where you are removing yourself as being liable of your business, which is definitely what you want to do, and then how to process an amendment with the Secretary of State so that you can remove yourself as the owner of that business, and you can now have the business trust, if it's acting as a holding company, be the owner of the business. So we have gone through a lot, and I want to be able to answer any and all questions that you guys might have. So please go ahead and raise your hand so that we can begin this Q&A session. So the first question that I see here, the first person is Aset. Hey, Aset, how are you?
Stoked as usual.
Awesome.
This is my second go around with you, and I'm just excited. And what's so cool about it is that, when you get involved in something, from my experiences, those kind of energies just come, and it just keep following through, and you meet people who are doing the same thing, and it's just too cool. So I'm super stoked. I'm at that point where I am actually adjusting the officers on my corporation, and you answered a few of those questions already just by watching you go through it again. So I'm just going to go over my notes really quick. And it says, when adding a corp, should you put only... Oh, yesterday you were talking about, someone asked a question in regards to signature signing. You mentioned something different from the time when we had our class. You mentioned the care of, the trust, and then care of CO, and then the trustee name. Yesterday you mentioned something different. Is that the same thing? Is that the same question that she had imposed when it comes to how you sign, or is that something different because it was different from the response you gave us in our class?
Yeah, so when you're talking about care of, you're talking about receiving correspondence for the trust. That's different from the signature. So when you've seen CO and the trustee, that is if you're acting as the registered agent or the person who's receiving correspondence. So we only discussed that when we were talking about the FBO. So as far as signing, you're going to put your signature, and you're going to put the words as trustee of, and then you're going to put the name of the trust that you're signing for. You could put your signature, and then you can put the title. So you could put trustee, you could put TTEE.
Okay.
So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You can put the abbreviation of trustee, you can write out the entire name, the entire position, trustee, or you can label it as trustee of and then specify the trust.
Okay. And so you say the FBO, that's when you put in the care of.
No, so when you are talking about care of, that has nothing to do with a signature. So where
Okay.
you saw that is in the FBO, which is the trustee receiving correspondence. So it's care of trustee.
Gotcha. Okay. 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 The other question was when filing with the secretary, who should file? You answered that one. You when it says filer, I know that you put your name in, and when I was doing mine earlier today, they asked who's filing this. Is it okay to put
So,
your name?
so the person who's filing is the existing owner. They're removing themselves and they're filing.
So henceforward, it would be the trust,
So
right?
if you're filing an amendment today, you're the owner or the shareholder or operator. So you're the person who's filing. You
And
have
afterwards,
have to
mhm,
understand you can't put the trust. The trust doesn't have a position yet. You're trying to submit an amendment so that the trust can now have a position.
gotcha. So afterwards, it would be the trust.
Yes,
And then that's when as trustee of comes in.
correct.
Gotcha. All right. The other question was who should file and the trustee of the officer? Who should file? Is it logical to have multiple officers? So I noticed that you took all the officers off. So when it comes to adjusting this corporation, the only thing, the only principle that should be on there is the trust, and that is the authorized member.
So that's if you have an LLC. So that this was just an example. Everyone's situation is different. Some people, their LLCs have 2 people, 3 people. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to remove everybody because you're then taking away their ownership interest. So what I'm saying is if it's a single member LLC and it's just you, then you remove yourself and you put the business. If you have a business partnership, then you are either you're going to remove both people and then you're going to put 2 business trusts. So I will show you an example of what that looks like. I think I showed it to you a couple days ago, but I'll show you again. So if it
Just so
depends
you know,
on,
just so you
yeah,
know, I have an Inc. Mine is not an LLC.
okay. So you're telling me if you want to remove everybody. So I'm letting you know it depends on your business.
Okay.
So, hold on 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you guys. So for example, if you have 2 business owners, then what you want to do is you want to establish a business trust per owner, or you'll establish one business trust and have both owners be trustees. So you could do it any other way like that. So these people who are in your business, they still want to maintain some type of control. So you're either going to set up one business trust collectively for the both of you guys and have both of you guys be trustees, or if you want to separate it, you can. So for example, this is a 2-member LLC, and nowhere do you see anybody's name here, right? So under registered agent, it's Inc., right? Under authorized persons, you see 2 AMBRs, and both of them are entities. Both of these entities are business trusts. So this business trust has one business owner, and that business owner is the trustee of this trust. This business trust has another business owner. That business owner is the trustee of this trust. So in the LLC operating agreement, this is structured to where it's 50-50. So half of the business belongs to this business trust, the other half of the business belongs to this business trust. So if that's not the case, then you would have it to where if it's just my half and my partner doesn't have a business trust, then I'm just going to only remove my name and replace my name with my business trust. My partner, they are going to remain on there, right? Until they get their affairs in order and they have a business. I mean, a trust. So that's how it works. So everyone's situation is different.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Then it says the title for the trust author member. Okay, you say that principal offering in a different state. So in the it says the principal. So my corporation is in Colorado, and I also do business in Georgia and also California. But its form is it's based in Colorado. So when it asks about the principal office, is it okay to have that office not in that actual state in which that corporation is based out of? Could the address be in Georgia, or does it have to be
Oh.
necessarily in Colorado?
Two things. So if you have a registered agent, that registered agent has to be in the same state where the entity is, and the owner or shareholder doesn't have to be in the same state.
So not the agent, but the principal office.
The principal office.
Yeah, because you know how they have the principal office and then the registered agent. I'm talking
So,
about the principal office.
yeah, so most likely, when you're setting up these entities, right? So if you're setting it up in Colorado, you're saying you're doing business in Colorado. So they're assuming that you have an address in Colorado.
Gotcha.
So you have to contact Colorado Secretary of State to see if you could use an address outside of Colorado. So currently, what is the address that you have on there?
I just purchased an address. It was in California, and then I opened up in Georgia, but I wanted to make sure everything was coinciding. So I purchased a virtual address for Colorado, but I wanted to make sure if I needed to put that address in there for Colorado, or if it was okay to just continue to use where I'm actually doing business, which is Georgia and California. I just wanted to make sure that it made sense for the sake of setting that up properly.
Okay, so the business is in California or Colorado?
It's formatted in Colorado, but
Okay.
business is being conducted in California and Georgia.
Does the Secretary of State of California know that you're conducting business in California?
Correct. I have two foreign entities in both of those outside states.
Okay. All right. So what are you asking specifically? Because I'm getting a little confused. So the entity is in Colorado, but you established it, you registered it in California and in Georgia because you're doing business in those states. So it's in
At,
Colorado, right?
right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the principal office. Does it have
Okay.
to necessarily be?
So
Yeah,
where's the current principal office? Like,
Georgia.
right, no, so right now on the Secretary of State in Colorado, what do you have?
I had California.
Okay, so you didn't have a Colorado address as the principal address?
No. So I just got one, but I wanted to see if it was necessary to put it in there. Or can I just continue to use what I have where I conduct business, which is I got it from out of Colorado first because of it's easier to do business in Colorado. So far as like getting a corporation. So I did the foreign operation with California and Georgia. So I never put I always use the California principal address on the Colorado one. But earlier you had mentioned just with our conversation that it's best to have that address in the state where it is, even though I'm not there. It's just best to put that address in there to let it be known that I'm doing business in that state, shall I say. But I'm really not.
So Sat, you have a lot going on. I think that you should contact the state of Colorado, but if you already have California listed on the Secretary of State of Colorado, then it sounds to me as if they accept it. So I
That's
think that you should contact them and ask them.
Okay. All right. I think that's all my questions. Yeah, you answered all of them. So thank you so kindly.
You're welcome, Set. All right, next we have Monet.
Hey, Miss, how are you?
Wonderful, splendid,
Oh,
fantastic. I'm trying to I'm trying to keep up with our fantastic and fabulous guest speakers. So I'm trying to be just as fabulous as her.
okay. Well, I'm gonna top you. You can always say better than amazing.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, already amazing, but if you're better than amazing, oh my God, how great are you? So,
All right. I like that. Better than an amazing. One of my friends, whenever I ask him, how are you? He's like, today's the best day of my life. I'm like, oh God, let me just let me walk out and walk back in. Yeah, I
okay.
love
So,
that.
um, I have a question on the trust. When we put the trust address, you always have the zip codes in brackets. So is that needed?
It's optional if you want to. So we put it in brackets, just to identify like the jurisdiction.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right. The tax masterclass for next week, is that going to be posted on Telegram, Facebook, or email to us when that happens?
It's yeah, it's gonna be both. So this weekend we're gonna post it in Telegram, in Facebook, and then you guys are gonna get a mass text and email 1 hour before we start the master class.
Okay, fantastic. And last question is, I have a property in Mississippi outside of my state under another trust. So the whole grantor grantee situation, would that apply if I move it from the property from that trust to this trust that I'm creating?
Yeah, so the grantor is going to be the current trust that's on the deed. The grantee is going to be the new trust that's going to go on the deed.
Fantastic. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Monet. All right, next we have Angelique. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful.
Right. So I'm piggybacking off of yesterday when you could not hear me. Um, a question about the Dunn's whole situation. So I recently acquired the Dunn's number, but I wanted to know, should I create a new Dunn's if I wanted to start over since I already got the business? And then I already have the dance number. But if I wanted to have the business, um, and the duns all put in the trust, should I start over?
So every single business needs its own DUNS number. So if you currently have a business and you currently have a DUNS, you don't need a new DUNS for that business that you already have a DUNS.
Or just put them both into the trust? The number, the duns, the business, because the business and it's all connected, but just put that into the new business trust.
So put what into the new business trust?
The LLC and
Mm-hmm.
the duns that goes to that LLC.
Mm-hmm.
Put
Yeah.
that in my
So the
new business
yeah,
trust.
the DUNS number is not the DUNS is not an asset. The LLC is going to go into the business trust. That's correct.
Oh, okay.
So that bit
And
DUNS that you have belongs to the LLC. It doesn't belong to the business trust. So if you want to build credit for the business trust, and the business trust would need its own DUNS number. But what you can do is you can just use your LLC since you already have that type of entity. You can use that for funding purposes.
yeah, that's my question. That was my question.
Yes,
So since I have that one, use that instead of trying. That was the question. Do I need to get the DUNS number for
you
the
don't
business trust?
Yeah, so if you wanted to build business credit for the business trust, then yes. If you don't, if you're not intending on doing that, then no. Do you have to build business credit for the business trust? No, because if you do that, then you are going to create a public record for the business trust.
So it's best to do it through the LLC, through the
So
business.
if you have an LLC already, you can use that LLC for funding purposes. So you can build, it sounds like you're already building business credit with it if you haven't done it. So just
Right, I'm
continue
trying
to,
to.
yeah, so you can continue to build on it.
Okay. And then in the process of trying to put it into the trust that I just created. Right?
Yep.
Okay. And the other question I have was, what is your what is your upgrade? What is the private one-on-one upgrade? What does that entail? It's like a few things. What does that entail? And also, the PAM and the Forex and the pay yourself first. Those are all kind of related, but how do we how do we get involved with those? And the last one would be the new registered business agent business that we were just talking about. That when we go to the Secretary of State to transfer our business over into the trust name, and you said we would get a new registered agent for the business. Where do we go to get that new business person to take over? As the registered agent that have to sign later or
Yes.
accept later.
So if you need a registered agent, then you should Google registered agents in and then your state, and then you'll see a list of companies. So just do your due diligence and find a good company for you.
Oh,
Um,
so they just out there for you to they're out there for hire or something like that.
so yeah, it's a service that they'll offer to be your registered agent for your LLC. And then
Oh,
yeah, so they'll be labeled as the person who's going to receive correspondence for your business.
okay.
So that's the first answer. The
Mm-hmm.
second answer is, well, you asked about the one-on-one. So that's private
Mm-hmm.
sessions with me. So do you know how, like right now we're doing everything in a group, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
there's, 60, 70 people on the group, and the group is kind of large, right? And so if you guys want private sessions, with me, then that's what the one-on-one is. So it's where we'll set up everything for you, right? So right now you have to do everything yourself, right? And so my team and I, we will do all this stuff for you. So we'll set up all of your trusts, we'll apply for your EINs, we will transfer all of your assets. And so you'll have several different private sessions with me where it's just me and you one-on-one. And so you're able to tell me your structure. We're able to get you restructured, get all of your trusts established, notarized, shipped to your house, and then you'll go ahead and open up your bank accounts, and then we'll transfer all your assets inside of your house, inside of your trust.
Okay. What's the fee for that?
So it's just you. So the one-on-one sessions are 10,000, but because you guys are in the program, you guys get half off. So that's how it works.
Oh, okay. I remember that. I remember that from in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as the the
As
PAM
the
and the
PAM
Forex
account.
and the pay
Yeah.
yourself first, like they're all kind of related, right? Or they're all kind of
It's the
brokerage
same.
type
It's
of.
the same. Yeah, it's the same. It's just okay. Um, so I am a fund manager and I have a fund. The name of the fund is Pay Yourself First. It
Mhm.
is dealing with Forex trading. Okay. So there's only one way to passively invest in the foreign exchange market, and that is by you establishing a PAM account. So you're going to create a brokerage account with a specific broker. It could be in your personal name. It could also be in the name of your trust. And this account is a PAM, so it's PAMM, which stands for Percentage Allocation Money Management, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to fund your brokerage account with whatever amount that you want. The minimum that we in order to qualify to work with us is $1,000. So let's just say you funded it with $1,000, then all you have to do is link your PAM account to our master account. So our master account is the account that is being traded by our retail trader, okay? So he has been trading for over a decade. And I have introduced him to you guys, and I will continue to introduce him to you guys so that you can get familiar with the trader. All right. And so he doesn't have the capacity to trade everyone's individual account. And so that's why we structured it as a PAM, so that all you have to do is link your account to our master account. So that means that your trading funds are going to be available on our master fund so that the trader can trade them. So everyone's funds are collectively pooled together in the master account, and the master account is being traded. So obviously every single trade that the trader gets into, your account gets into those trades too. And then whatever the percentage is for your profit, you'll receive it. So your profit is a 60-40 split. So that means that you keep 60% of your profit and we keep 40% of your profit. And that is the compensation for the trader. Okay. So if you made $100 today in the foreign exchange market, you keep 60 of it and 40 and $60, and then the other $40 is going to go to the trader. The performance fee, that is what is called the performance fee. The performance fee is taken out or deducted from your account the first of every single month, unless the first falls on a holiday. If the first falls on a holiday, then it'll be taken out the next day. So if you look on your account and you see like a minus and $100, that was your performance fee, okay? So that's just an example. Now, you can take funds out or do withdrawals whenever you want, 24/7, as long as your account doesn't have an open trade. If your account has an open trade, then you're going to be risking your entire account if you pull money out while it's in an open trade. So you have to wait for that trade to close, and then you can process your withdrawal request. And then the brokerage is open Monday through Friday. So they'll be able to approve your request and send it to wherever you decided to send it to, okay? So you can join the Forex PAM account, our fund, Pay Yourself First, whenever you want. So I'm going to put the link in the chat for those of you who are interested, and you can just click the link. I have a very informative video. It's about 8 minutes long, and it'll answer any additional questions that you might have. And then you will have the referral link if you're interested in joining our fund, the Pay Yourself First fund, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're
That's all
welcome.
I have.
All right, thank you, Miss Angelique. We're gonna go on to the next person. So next we have Robert. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Christina. Again, thank you for this. We can't continue to say thank you for all the wealth and the knowledge that you and your special guest gave. My mind is just blown with all the information from Monday till today. It's just really mind blowing. So thank you again. I'll be
Thank
quick so to get the
you.
rest of your questions. First question is, when we go back to the legal description, I noticed that when you pull up the Zillow account, should we be copying that legal description and placing it in the Schedule B as well? Or do we
Yeah.
just enter in?
No, yeah. So on your Schedule B, you want to put real estate, mailing address, legal description. Those are the 3 things that you need to list on the Schedule B for any real estate.
Okay, awesome. And the next question is, when we were doing the quick deed assessment here, when filing, when we have 2 persons on the deed, like the husband and the wife, do both parties need to actually sign when signing the quick deed?
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to create a second signature area So wherever you see it says grantor signature, copy and paste that. And so it's going to be signature, printed name, address, and date is required for the second person.
Awesome. And that's all I have. And again, thank you so much. I've got a lot of studying to do, and I'm going to be go back and reviewing all of these videos.
You got a lot of homework, Robert. Thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
you being here. Awesome. All right, next we have M. Cheryl.
Hey, Christina.
How
Or
are
should I,
you?
oh, I'm doing good. Or should I call you WQ for women's quarters?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Um, can you explain the difference between the 501c trust versus the 508, whatever, 1A trust, C1A trust?
Okay, so you're using the terms trust. So let me just clarify your question, okay? So the 501c3,
There you go.
um, so that is your traditional nonprofit. Is that what you're referring to?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, all right, so that is not a trust. So that is your traditional nonprofit. So if somebody out in society wants to go ahead and open up a 501c3 or a nonprofit, they can do that. If they want to be tax exempt, then they have to apply for tax exemption. The way that they apply for tax exemption is by filling out the application with the IRS. Once the IRS approves their application due to their supporting documentation, then they will receive or have tax exempt status, which is labeled as a 501c3. Now, they have to renew their tax exempt status. So that's one thing. It's going to require one, an application, qualification, and renewal. Okay. In order to renew the 501c3, you have to provide your documentation. So you have to provide your record keeping, any bookkeepings to the IRS. You have to submit that to them. And that is what we usually call, scrutiny, right? Because the IRS is going to go through all of your financials in order to ensure that you're compliant and in order for you to maintain your 501c. If they see anything incorrect, any discrepancies, then they'll pull your tax exempt status and then you won't be able to be exempt from federal taxes. All right. So with you holding a 501c3, there's a lot of other restrictions. The other restriction that is vitally important is your freedom of speech. So with a 501c3, the holder of that status is not able to make comments or any type of engagements in politics. So, for example, like a a pastor in a church, he can't comment and talk about the president this, the mayor this, because it's against the rules for him maintaining the 501c3. Okay. So that's on one side. On the other side, you have the 508. So the 508 is where all of the is where you have an entity. So it can be a trust, it could be a church, and it could be an association, it could be an axillary. It's a faith-based organization. So that's what they call it. So it is any type of organization that is either going to be charity-based, education-based, or religious. There is a separation between church and state. So that means that the state cannot get involved in the dealings of quote unquote a church, right? Or an FBO. So that means that these types of entities are able to govern themselves. So because there is a true separation between church and state, that means that that entity, as long as they're operating the way that they should, which is, within those realms of being a faith-based organization, then they don't have to apply for tax exempt status. So they don't have to go through the application qualifications. They don't have to provide any documentation to the IRS. So they are automatically exempt, automatically, okay? So that means that they're not required to file a 1041, every single year, okay? So that's the main difference.
Oh, okay. And one more question. When you put your home in the trust, say if you want to get a HELOC on it, how you go about doing all that? With consensus in the trust now.
So um, it's the same way as you applying for a HELOC in your personal name. The only difference is that they're going to ask you for additional documentation. So you're going to have to provide them with a certificate of trust. Sometimes they would like to know if the trust has income. If the trust doesn't have income to be able to prove that they can sustain those HELOC payments, then these specific financial institutions would require either you as the person to be a personal guarantee, or they won't give the trust a HELOC. So ways that you can prove income is bank statements and tax returns. So it's just the same way. And then you're going to the HELOC. I think you are familiar with that type of a credit line, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And is I guess the similar question is for the LLC, if it's in the trust and you're trying to get funding for the LLC.
Okay, so if you're trying to get funding for the LLC, it's the same way. So they're going to ask you for all of the documentation for the LLC. So they'll ask you for, articles of organization, operating agreement, EIN, things like that. And then when it's time to put the owner's information, you'll put the business trust information. And then they'll decide if they want to extend credit or not.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mm.
All right. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back in 1 minute.
Is it just me or is it a terrible echo?
No, when two people next to each other and one of them speak, other person has to lower their volume low. Otherwise, that'd be echo.
Someone's mic is open while she's talking, therefore there's an echo.
That's what I said. If two people next to each other, when they open a computer, one of them asks, other person has to lower their volume to the zero. Then this way it doesn't echo it because they go back and forth to each other.
Okay, thank you.
So everybody, please check your mic and make sure you're muted.
You are welcome. No, I'm talking about the next two people in the same room next to each other. Not like you and me, if we are open, doesn't do it. But if two people next to each other and they're the same room.
Hey, Derek, you got a question?
Yes. Um, yeah, and to piggyback off what the last guest said, yeah, I've been blown away all week. All this stuff is invaluable, all this information is invaluable. And I'm a real estate agent, so I do some seminars once every other week and educate home buyers on do's and don'ts. And I answered some questions, but man, not like you. You can answer. You can go on and on. I wouldn't. I've been short circuited within the first couple minutes. So kudos to you and your patience with everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that.
So I want to piggyback off a question as well in terms of putting your home into the trust. I mean, is that to do what? Tax benefits, stop potential foreclosures? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm new to this, so I don't know the real reason and of putting obviously you want to put your assets in a trust, but I want to know the reasoning for the home going to.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. You have a primary residence, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have children?
Yes.
Okay. And so that primary residence is in your name, right?
Correct.
Okay. If you didn't wake up tomorrow, meaning you transitioned, my question to you is, how do you expect that house to be transferred from Derek's name to your children or your spouse? How do you expect that transfer to happen, Derek?
Maybe through like a will or yeah, something like probate.
Oh,
Something like that.
so can a will do the transfer?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
No, so a will is what? A will is just like a paper that gives your last wishes. So a will can't do a transfer. So how is the transfer that legally needs to happen going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. The trust.
So, so I will give you the answer. The only way that that property is going to be transferred from Derek's name to his daughter, his son, his spouse is through the court. That's the only way that that's going to happen. So that means that if you don't have a trust, Derek, then you're going to leave that decision because a lot of people think it's automatic, which is the biggest mistake on earth. For us to automatically think that our house is going to be transferred to our son, our daughter, our spouse. That's the biggest lie. So what's going to happen is you're going to leave that decision up to a judge. Does that judge know you, Derek?
No,
Does he know your children? Does he know your daughter, your son?
no,
Do you think that he wants your daughter or son to get your house?
probably doesn't care.
He doesn't care. Do you know what's the first thing that he's going to do?
No.
He's going to pay off your medical bills.
Oh,
Because at the end of the day, when you transition, guess what? You racked up some medical bills.
for sure.
You laid in the hospital, you laid in a nursing home, the ICU, whatever. But then guess what else you had? Student loans, credit card debt, and a car note. And if you didn't have no money in the bank, guess what the judge is going to do, Derek?
Try to take money from their home.
Exactly. That's the only asset that you had. And you thought that your son and daughter was going to get it, and you thought wrong. So because your family has to go through the probate process, the judge is now going to decide to liquidate that asset so that you have cash available to be able to pay Medicaid, Medicare, North Shore Hospital, and whoever else needs to get paid. Discover, Bank of America, whoever else that you owe debt to. They're going to pay all of your liabilities first, right? So let's just say that that house, they sold it for 400,000. Your liabilities was 200,000. So now there's $200,000 that's left. guess what else is going to happen? Because we're talking about the probate process, right? So what else is going to happen is the government, right? If you do not have your own estate, meaning you don't have your own trust, the government is going to create one for you. So a lot of us, we didn't know this, right? So we're thinking that we're all good and dandy because we have a will. But a will is your last wish, right? It's your last wish and testament, right? So that means that it is a wish list. You're going to list on the wish list that you want your daughter to get your house. Is it going to happen? Not necessarily. So now what's going to happen is because you don't exist anymore and your name is on the house, they have to create an estate for you. So at the end of the day, you're going to have an estate anyways, Derek. So are you going to create it now while you're alive? Absolutely. You're not going to let the state of Georgia create it for you. All right. So you're taking power into your own hands because the state of Georgia, they'll create the estate for you. And then they're going to place all of your assets in there. So if you have a bank account in your personal name, if you have any stocks, any bonds in your personal name, if you have a house, a car, anything in your personal name, that estate that they created for you, they're going to transfer all those assets in there. And then it's going to be up to the judge what happens. And so because you didn't have no cash in the bank and all you had was the house, they sold the house. And so now there's cash that's inside of the estate. So now the judge can pay off the liabilities, which is your student loans, your credit cards, and the hospital and Medicare and Medicaid and the nursing home and all of these, big time agencies, right? But your estate is in probate court. So there's an attorney involved, an attorney that's representing your estate. That attorney needs to get paid, right? So right out of the 400,000 that they sold your house for, 200,000 went to medical bills. You have $200,000 left, right? So let's just say 50,000 goes to the attorney, and then another 50,000 goes to the courts. The courts also have court fees. So now there's $100,000 that's left that's going to be split between your heirs. So instead of them keeping dad's house, which they fought for long and hard, they just ended up with a couple $1,000s.
Okay, got you. Yeah, somebody was asking me, well, I was telling them I was getting enlightened on what a trust is and everything that it can do. So they was asking about that and I didn't have an answer, but nah, I do. So I want them to join the class too. I was telling them about it. So once it's in the trust, I can still get like tax credits and benefits, like normally I would, have a certain tax write off for a home. Doesn't change it.
You kind of dwindle down there. I kind of lost you, Derek. Okay, so you said that you're going to refer your friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So that is, I'm glad that you're creating your trust because your trust is going to help you avoid probate. So that's the number one benefit. So people, they, want it for tax benefits. They want it for, privacy and all this other stuff. But really, you really, really, really want it to avoid probate so that your children can receive their inheritance.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Next we have Alan.
What can I say? Dear, where you have been when I was 20?
I have no clue. I
Yeah,
would
I
have
know.
loved to meet you when I was 2 years old.
No, you were not even born.
I know, right? I didn't even exist, but I would have loved to meet you.
I know. Probably your parents just to start knowing each other. But anyway,
I know.
that's a lot of information. I'm thinking, gosh, I know I'm dumb, but I didn't know how dumb I was.
No, don't say that.
Liz, I'm proud of both of you. And I told you before, I'm praying most young people like you come across because Your future generation for other future generation.
Yes, I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad I find you all team and also everybody in this team. A
Yes.
lot of beautiful, smart question. Listen, let's go make it short for a lot of people waiting for ask question from you. Let's go back to number one. When they come to the legal, when I want to put the deed, if I want translated quick claim deed to the trust, I understood about the description of the deed, but sometimes when you have your title, the title they give you a description of the deed on it, when you have title.
Yeah.
Is more a little longer than what you just described it, and that's okay.
It is. Yeah. So it just depends. So it could be a whole entire page long.
Oh, yes.
So it just depends on the property. So usually for and it depends on the county and how they're describing it and stuff like that. Usually if you have like these newer developments, it just lots, blocks, that's it. But if you have your older homes that are not inside of these gated communities, they have, and it's in traditional neighborhoods, they have longer legal descriptions that are 10, 15, 20 lines long.
Okay, I mean, it's either one is good.
Yeah, so you want to use whichever one the county accepts. So usually the county is not going to accept the shorter version. The shorter version, sometimes you'll find it online. They want that long drawn out version. So whichever one is on your current deed is the one that you want to put.
That's what I thought so, but I just double check with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number two, if I want to put, as I spoke with you in the past, I want to put the house or the car in the completely separate trust, not in the family, not in the business, not in the, just a separate trust. And is there any way we have to shred or shrink this trust a little bit? Like, for example, if I'm going to put the car in the trust alone by themselves without any organization, I don't need a yearly or meeting or any of those things. Is there any way I can cut it off and shred it, make it
Yeah. Yeah. So for example, some people, they've removed the board, right? And so if you don't want a board for the trust that you're just putting for your car, then you can remove that. So you can customize your indenture however way that you see fit. It's yours.
Do you have by any chance kind of copy of it, or should I shred it and send it to you? You look at them,
I
say,
can look it over for you.
all right, no problem. Thank you very much, because I have to create a trust for the car and house separately before I put them in anywhere else. Now, that's another thing. Okay, for example, I have a property, there's my name on it. I want to get out of my name completely, a couple of personal reasons beside the government. Now, can I put that trust, quick claim deed, for example, to your name? I'm just giving you an example, okay? And you be owner. And then you quick claim deed to that another new trust. Then I be trustee on that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, you can do that. And some people, they want to, because you have to understand there's a paper trail. Okay? And so automatically, attorneys, they're going to assume that whoever quit claim deeded, the property over might have some type of beneficial interest. So some people, they like to do like what you're saying. They like to create a paper trail where they'll quit claim it to something else, and then from that something else to the trust. But it's not necessary, but if you want to do it that way, you can.
Well, because when I spoke with one of the attorneys, they said, well, if you quit claim from your name to trust immediately, if something happens as a lawsuit, we can dig it out and they figure out, okay, you try to hide it.
Yeah, so it's skip tracing. So I mean, I personally wouldn't say you're trying to hide it. It's a legal transfer. So what I'm saying is that you have to understand that it's their duty to go and do skip tracing to be able to see, well, who sold it to who, and who sold it to who, and who deeded it to who, and who did this and who did that. So if you're the one who's quit claiming it to the trust, then they could, look for you to see to see, just to contact you to see if you are a person of interest.
But again, if I do it to you and you put them in the
But for
trust,
example, if they were to contact you and ask you if you're associated with the trust, you don't have to answer that question.
that part I understood. Thanks to you, I'm learning.
Yeah,
And
you don't have to. You don't have to tell them that you're associated. It's none of their business.
yes,
And to you, that's not considered need to know information. So
yes.
if they're looking for someone who's associated with that trust because they're trying to serve that trust, tell them good luck.
Yeah, and then in the IRS as a tax, property tax, when I quit claim to you for $10, and then you quit claim to the trust, and I be trustee with $10, the IRS shouldn't affect my property tax.
No, as long as it's right, exactly.
Okay.
So I will tell you this though, every single county is different. So I'm not sure what the procedures are for your county, but some counties, they like to do assessments. So some of them they do it annually. Some of them they do it in a decade. Some of them they do it whenever there's a title transfer.
Well, I'm in Florida.
Yeah, but it's county specific.
Okay. I have to check on that one.
Yep.
And then another question is, okay, if I want to share some of this video, because I will make sure get the permission from you. If I want to share some of this video with my trustees, because they're going to be part of it, they need a little bit of education, is okay, or they have to be part of the program?
No, it's okay.
Just,
And I always tell people too, like we have a lot of duos here, right? So we have husband and wife duos, we have mom and son, mom and daughter, dad and son. So I always tell people, if your children, right, or your successors, invite them to the workshop.
okay,
or
thank you.
let them watch the course material, because how else are they going to learn? They
Thank
can
you.
learn directly the way you learned.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And now let's go back. This is it wasn't part of the question, but come up with the 50C. 50C as a location. For example, if I'm going to establish the 50C as an organization, Lord Ministry, for example, and I don't have a location as a moment, but then I have to have a location, and then can I say, okay, I bought the banded house and start remodel it or under construction, that'd be okay?
Yeah, of course. So like the 508, so if you go through the actual 508, like if you have land and it's undeveloped, you can develop it. If there's a structure and it requires repairs, you can repair it.
Okay, then if, for example, if I have on my 50C, I have a location, I'm under construction, I'm working on it, and then but it's too small. When it's done, then I have a property as a land. Then if I want to transfer to that property because it's larger, that'd be okay. And it's have a way, probably I will bother you, ask that question.
Yeah, you can transfer it. You can transfer it to the 508 after, or you can transfer it from the 508. So however you want.
No problem. And then what is this? Go ahead.
Yeah, you can manage, you can dispose of however you deem necessary.
What is this E-lock or H-lock? How do you spell it? Is it E-lock with the E?
Yeah, home equity line of credit, HELOC, HELOC, HELOC.
Okay. Then thank you. Well, so far that's for now, because again, every time you guys talking, a lot of things come to mind, but I really appreciate, and God send it to you. God send you guys, both of you, to us.
Yes, that's for sure. That's the truth.
I'm just thinking, gosh, why you didn't open my eye when I was 20? But hey, maybe it's the time now.
It is. It's divine.
Give it to me. I said thank you.
Yeah, it's divine. It is divine. Right now is the time. So congratulations.
God bless you, and I see you all next week. And again, thank you all for all the wonderful questions and being in the part of the family. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, next we have Denise. Hey, Denise. Hey, Denise, are you available? You're still on mute. All right, next we're gonna go to Stacy and then we'll circle back to Denise.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Stacy. My
Hey.
throat is dry. I'm sorry.
But you've
Oh my
only
God.
been on here for like 14 hours today,
I
so
know.
I'm surprised you're still going. I'm so impressed. I I just had a quick question. The
Yeah.
98, so you sent out instructions for the 98 form. I'm like, did I miss that? I'm curious.
So, okay, perfect. So that is the application for a 98 number, which is a EIN, and that is for individuals that want to apply that way, but you have to qualify to apply that way. So that means that you're going to be getting your EIN, but you're going to be letting the IRS know that you're a foreign entity, that you're establishing your trust outside of the United States, and that the individual or entity that is requesting this 98 number, it doesn't originate from the US. So that person doesn't have a social, or that person is not an entity that was established here.
Okay. I know.
That's for those people that qualify for it or want to go down that route.
Okay. And I know there's some other areas where it's talked about. I've also heard a little bit about it. So I am interested in it. Just one question though, when you're using it, can you elaborate at all on how you leverage that 98 number versus the traditional EIN number?
So they're both EIN, so you use them the same way. So personally, they're supposed to be used for banking purposes. And
Okay.
a lot of people, they want to go down that route because it automatically puts you outside of the jurisdiction of the United States. But if you do generate US dollars, then you still have to pay taxes. So people get, a misconception that they don't have to pay taxes. But they do if they are generating US dollars.
Do you use it at all similar to a faith-based organization, since that is also a tax-exempt entity?
Yes, so a lot of people will choose to get a 98 number for their FBO. That's why I sent it.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. Denise, are you available? I see you have your hand up. Are you able to?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Hi.
perfect.
My phone was I couldn't figure out my phone was actually locked. So I
Oh
was
yeah,
wondering
I
why
know
I
how
couldn't
that
get
is.
through. We
Yeah,
did
I know
that.
how that is. How are you, Denise?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful.
Yes, we've been going so long. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
So I had two questions. Would your suggestion be to, after we fill out the paperwork and everything for the trust, would you suggest we take it to a lawyer? Is that necessary?
It's not necessary, so it's up to you if you want to do that. So I haven't heard of anyone doing that.
Oh, okay, my insurance lady asked me that. Last question. If you have a ministry trust and someone continue to make a tithe, well, you title it as tithing, but it was I'm sorry, I'm standing in line. Okay, the donation. Is that a tax write-off if they making tithes to the ministry trust?
Yeah, so the individual who is tithing or donating to the ministry trust, that's going to be a tax deduction for them.
Okay, that was my two questions. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, Ms. Denise. Thank you. All right, next we have Sabrina. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful.
Awesome. I just had a question about when you transfer the LLC into the trust. So the trust will be the owner. So what does the process look like when you're purchasing property? Because a lot of times they ask you for the articles of organization saying that you're the owner of the LLC. So now that the trust will be the owner, how does How does that work?
You're gonna have a new articles of organization and it's gonna have the trust name, so you're gonna be able to prove that the business trust is the owner. And then they can also look at your annual report that's on the Secretary of State, and you also want to update your operating agreement to reflect that the business trust is the owner of the LLC.
Okay. Okay. I thought you would have to bring like the certificate of trust to prove that you're the trustee or something like that, operating on behalf of the
Yeah,
business.
yeah, you can also bring that.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, next we have Kanan.
Hey, good evening. How y'all doing?
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Better than amazing. I just
Same,
learned
same,
that.
same, same, same.
Hey.
I got a couple quick questions. Looking at the quitclaim deed, we were talking about, um, I'm trying to pull it up right now. I apologize. Okay, yeah, it states, I think it's like the second paragraph where is a single individual. Now, what if your home is owned by a LLC? So what would be the status of the company? Right? Or
That's funny. So obviously it's not applicable, right?
yeah, so you would just would you just take that out or just say that
Absolutely.
okay, great. Okay. I'm just
Absolutely.
making sure. Just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
Uh we made a clerical correction too because Alan had pointed something out previously. Do you remember which trust that was? I've been asking the group, but I don't remember which trust that was that we made that correction. I think it was like Article 8 or
Oh
something.
yeah. It's the FBO and
Okay.
um
Distribution trust.
um it was it's the FBO and it was
Write it down and look at them.
yeah, section
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 article,
it's
article A, section 3. I'm sorry, section 6.
Article 8, Section 6.
Yes, article
The
8,
minute
section 6.
okay, so that's out of the ministry trust, right?
That was in the ministry.
ministry
Yes.
trust.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So the change that you have to make is like the numeric numbers. So it's supposed to be XVI.
Yep, yep. XVII. Okay. All right. And then the last question I had, it's kind of the same, piggybacking off the lady that just asked about bringing the trust to an attorney. I wasn't planning on doing that at all, but I'm just curious. Do you have any nightmare scenarios, or have you heard of any way that the trust was pierced? And then is there a way that we can avoid that, right? Like, I mean,
If
besides,
if you could avoid getting sued.
or somebody suing and then breaking the trust, right? Like, is there a certain way, is this something we should be doing besides what you set up already, or?
So I'm just going to tell you, I don't know how you can avoid a lawsuit. I think that you should be on your best behavior. I think that you should be law abiding, and then maybe a lawsuit won't come. I don't know. Like people just wake up and they just want to sue you.
That's
So
not, I guess I'm not asking it properly. I was talking about, the lawsuit happening, but actually piercing the trust, right? Like
yeah,
breaking
so
it.
if your trust ends up in a litigation, it doesn't mean that it's going to get pierced. So
Yep.
your trust can be sued. It doesn't mean it's going to get pierced.
Okay.
So if your trust is in a litigation, they will pierce a revocable trust first because that is you, compared to an irrevocable trust that is not you.
Okay. Okay. I was just wondering if it was something that specific that you were like, look, make sure you don't do this, or make sure I've seen this happen in the past. People have tried to do it on their own and they did something else. I can't afford the one-on-one scenario with you, the 5,000. So when I do this process, I was just wondering, once I follow it to a T, everything that you stated, I'll be out in the world doing everything on my own. But just wondering if there was any scenario that just that you saw like, hey, make sure you don't do this or
So you just want to make sure that you're operating the trust the right way. Okay, because if you're not, if they find the slightest little thing, there's so many scenarios that I could say,
Okay.
right?
I figured that too. I figured that.
Commingling funds.
Yep.
Are
Okay.
you going to do that? Giving beneficiaries power and control. Are you going to do that? If you're found, right, if you end up in litigation and they found that you're doing that, they're going to then pierce your trust.
Okay.
They're going to then dismantle it.
Okay. Okay.
Operate it right.
Just gotta know how. Yep. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So another thing that I want to bring up is that I can double check all of your stuff for you, you guys. Okay. So you can book a call with me. You guys have my calendar. It's on your it's inside of the email. And you can book a call with me, and then you will be able to, you know, we can review your docs before, if that's going to give you the sense of security.
It definitely would. It definitely would.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep.
absolutely.
Okay.
So anybody and everybody can do that. You are willing to do that. So you can either email it to us as well. So we do very well with email. I have double checked a lot of people's trust. So if you email it to me, I will go through every single line, just like I did with you on Zoom.
Thank
If
you so
we
much.
are on Zoom together and you're just, you know, going up and stuff like that, I'll be glancing and looking. And so I don't know how thorough I can be with you just sharing your screen on Zoom versus me looking at it and going line by line with a fine-tooth comb. So it's up to you, but everyone has the ability to do that. And I have told you guys this before, and I will tell you again. So you could book a one-on-one with me. I can review all your docs for you before you go and get them notarized.
Thanks
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, we're gonna go to Miss Meredith Rose. I love that name.
Hi, Christina. Thanks a lot. It's just been incredible conversation.
Yes, thank you.
So the FBO, the 508,
Yeah.
it's a nonprofit, but it's also an irrevocable trust. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Because just for any of you out there, I was refused. Somebody at Golden One said, oh, we don't do those nonprofits, but they do irrevocable trusts. So I'm going back to them to do a checking account with it as, and I'm just going to take my certificate of trust, right? And open up a checking for the irrevocable trust.
Yes, that's correct. So that's the type of bank account that you're going to get for the FBO is an irrevocable trust account. Correct.
Yeah, thanks. So do I need the EIN certificate, or does that not have anything to do with opening up that check?
They're going to ask you for it. They're going to ask you, they're going to ask you for the EIN of the entity. And so you want it to be readily available so you can provide them with that 9-digit number.
Okay, cool. So will I put my home address? Will I give them, you know, when they're starting to fill out that form, do I give them my home address? And then when I get the checks printed, can I leave out an address, or do I have to put in the virtual address? How do I work with the addresses when I do that?
So the trust has a separate address from you. So you're going to provide them with the trust address.
Okay.
When it comes to the checks, you want, so the checks are going to have the trust name, you want it to, you want it to also have the trust address. So some, you know, check providers, they'll let you leave it blank if that's what you want to do, but usually your checks will have a name and address. And so just use the virtual address whenever it's any type of association with the trust, use the trust address.
Okay, great. But do I really need a checking? Because if I make payments on expenses with a credit card, I probably won't be using the checking account. I just need the checking account, right?
So in the event that anything happens in the future where you have funds that need to be placed somewhere, you'll have a place for to go.
Okay, excellent. I've got one more question. It's kind of unrelated to the banking, but I want to sell a fragrance item online, and I can't use my trust name for my product because apparently it's already taken. So it's okay to do this, operate this under my trust, but have a different name on my fragrance, correct?
Yeah, you can. So you can name the product whatever you want.
Right.
And then you could also establish a DBA if you wanted to do that. So a DBA stands for doing business as.
So is that something that I get through? Is that a business license?
No, it's just like a way for them to know that one entity is doing business under another name. That is not the name of the entity. Or you can just name your product whatever you want. So usually people that will name the product, and then just sell it as the product name. So
Right.
yeah, so are you like talking about like the domain? What is the issue with the name?
Well, let's say I was chatting to Etsy today online, and I wanted to set up a shop to sell this product, and I've been making these aromatherapy products for a long time, but I thought I'd rename it as my trust name because I really like my trust name. But then they said, "Oh, that name's been taken." So I realized that I have to put another name on my fragrance.
Oh, okay. So that's the name of your shop. So you can call your shop anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be the the name of your trust.
Oh, yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. But I think I have to, if my shop has a name, I have to name my product the same name, correct?
I'm not sure of that. I don't know how, I don't know like the ins and outs of Etsy.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. Thanks. When I have a little description there online, should I put that it's for the trust and the trust name and that it can be a donation to the trust, or should I just send somebody a donation slip when I send them the product? I mean, should I advertise it as a donation to a trust?
So you can put in the description that it is a donation. So you can label it as that. You can tell them, thank you for your donation. You can let them know that the purchase of this product, the proceeds are a donation to, and then you can name the entity charity that it is a donation to. So let them know the purchase of this product is a donation to. You don't have to disclose a name if you don't want to, or you can just tell them what it is, right? So to a charity, to a faith-based organization.
Right. And then I just send them the donation slip along with it.
Yeah.
And I did. Okay, Christina, you're just the Wikipedia of all.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a million, and thank you,
Yeah.
community. I love all of you. You're just so cool. Thank you.
Yeah. You're doing good over there in California, right? You are not in the areas with the fire, right? You're in Sacramento.
Thanks for asking. Yeah, that's down in Southern California, but it's a total nightmare, and it's really, really sad. Let's just pray for all those people. It's
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Rose. I appreciate you being here.
Thank
All right, we're gonna move on to Maria. Maria? Maria, are you available?
Yes. Oh, sugar.
Hey, Maria.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. So my questions were, you already answered a couple. I think two people before me asked about the 9A number for the foreign. Can I get foreign numbers for the business, the private, and sorry, the private, sorry, the family trust, the business trust, and the family-based organization. I mean, the faith-based organization. Can I get a 9/8 number for all three of them?
Yeah, you can.
And then I kind of feel like you went over it, maybe not this session, but a different, probably online or something. You could get multiple trusts. It doesn't just have to stay at three. It could be as many as you want.
Correct.
Okay. And I asked you this before. The Schedule B, is that what holds the authenticated birth certificates?
That's where you list the asset.
So, and it will go on a Schedule B or a Schedule A?
You can put in the Schedule B.
Schedule B. Okay, and authenticated at the state level is fine?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you put passports or anything inside there as well?
I personally haven't, so I haven't seen anyone do that.
Okay. Okay, so that doesn't, okay. And did you say that you have someone that that does the DS11 applications with you?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm at a funeral and I'm trying to help out do class at the same time.
Sorry about that, Maria.
It's all right. So I think that was, let me see. So, oh, and then one other question. With the faith-based organization for the 9/8 number, we will call the 9/8 number and just, we can give, no, here was my question. You said it the other day, but I want to clarify. If we have, like, I have an iPostal address and registered agent for my LLC and for my holding company. I haven't used them much, but I heard you say to me the other day that if I'm going to close it out, before I close it out, to establish some type of credit.
Yeah, so if you have an entity and you don't want to dissolve that entity, you can use it for funding purposes and you can get funding with it.
Okay, so I'll do that. And then what else was I was gonna ask you? I was gonna ask you something else. So the faith-based organization, I know you went through like the ordained ministry the other day, but I wasn't on that phone call. But my husband is already actually went through like seminary classes and everything. So is he okay? He could do it regardless.
You're breaking up just a little bit. You said, is he okay?
To do the faith-based organization, like I don't have to do it. I can put it underneath him.
Yes. So if he's credentialed, if he's already credentialed, then he's fine. And
Okay.
yeah, there's nothing else that you have to do.
Why is it? I don't know.
No.
Oh, somebody wasn't there. I was gonna say, so, and in each of the entities, if there's a different person registering the EIN number, that's okay as well?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's majority of my questions. And you also said that there's a link inside of the emails?
Yes.
Okay. And how will we be able to, when is your next class?
Which one? The workshop?
Yeah, this one.
Or master class. The workshop is February 24th to the 28th.
Oh no.
That part.
Okay. It was a hard week. I tried to get inside of class. It was everything going wrong.
You got
That I
it.
couldn't get inside
I'm
of it.
about to leave the country. When I get back to the country, I'll have another workshop, okay?
Oh man. Okay, so is there when are you leaving?
Yeah, no, so just book a call with me. So just go to my calendar in your
I don't think I
email.
had the proper link for your calendar because one time I did it before Christmas and and I was able to book it, but then when I tried to get into the Zoom, it wouldn't let me.
Not sure. So I'll put the link inside of the chat.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Thanks,
So
Maria. All right, next we have CF.
Hi, thank
How are you?
you. Thank you. I'm a
You're
little slow today, but I'm hanging in there. I got
awesome.
3 questions.
Yes, ma'am.
First question is the business trust name. What other um, names can we put in there besides holdings? Because holdings means something else.
You can put anything you want.
Okay.
Anything that you want. You don't.
It doesn't have to. It
No.
has.
It could be anything that you want. So I would tell you, one, to stay away from using the word trust, and then
Okay.
also stay away from abbreviations like LLC or co or corp, because it's just going to be confused and looked like a corporation or LLC. So use whatever you want. So
Okay.
you know, if you wanted to use CF Enterprise, you could do that, whatever you want.
All right. Thank you. And then the second question is, you mentioned earlier, and I didn't write it down fast enough. But once you transfer your business, LLC, or whatever your business is, into the business trust, you have to update specifically, and I'm asking about the LLC. Excuse me. I have to update the operations agreement. And what were the other 2 things you said I had to update?
So the Secretary of State is automatically going to be updated once you do your amendment. So you're going to do your amendment. So your articles of organization is going to be updated because you did an amendment. And then the public records on the Secretary of State is going to be updated. And then you want to redo your operating agreement to remove yourself and add the business trust.
Okay, so let me make sure I got that. The article of, update with the amendment with the Secretary of State, the operations agreement, and the article of organization. And,
Yeah.
and on the article of organization, that would change the, it would add the trust to the article of organization. Is
That's
that
correct.
Okay. All right. And then the third question I have, the 101, excuse me, would that be an additional $5,000, or would that be the difference between what we paid already to do the DWI to get into 101? Is that an additional 5,000?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Thank you. That's it. Have
All
a
right.
wonderful weekend and a good trip, and be safe and all that
Thank
good stuff.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, we are about to wrap it up. I see M. Cheryl put his hand up, and then we're done. We're closing shop for today. Cheryl, do you have a question?
Christine, if you got a C corp and a LLC, how would you arrange these with these trusts that we gonna set up, like a structure wise?
So it depends on the operation of the entity. So for the LLC, I would have the business trust be the authorized member. For the C Corp, I would have the business trust be a shareholder and hold 90% of the corporation. But it depends on how those entities are operated. So if you have a high liability business, then it will get its own business trust. And if both of them are low liability, then they can both be under the same trust. That's how I would do it.
Why you know so much?
I don't, I don't know. So, all right, guys. I mean, so I've been just in this space. I've been an entrepreneur since I was what, 25? So 10 years. So it's just a lot in here. So anyways, I want to wrap it up for today, you guys. Today was an absolute amazing and fantastic day. And the workshop was phenomenal too. I would actually like to know if there is anybody who wants to come off of mute and to let us know how their experience on the workshop has been. So we really value your input. If you have a testimonial, if you have any feedback for us, if anybody would come off of mute and let us know how their experience has been for this entire week during the workshop, we would love to know. So anybody wants to go first?
I'll start.
All right. Thank you, Stacy.
Hey, I just want to say that I think all of us have probably experienced learning from other people. And I just have to say your workshop, your style, you provide so much value, like way more value than I thought. And it's just like everyone else, like you said, you look so young. Everyone's like, how do you know all of this? But I just want to thank you for putting this together for all of us. I want to thank you for making sure that we understand, for taking your time, and just being patient with everybody, because that takes a special person. So I want to just thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate you saying that so much. And I appreciate you taking the leap of faith, because I know that you had previously mentioned that you were skeptical, you wasn't sure. This girl looks like she's 18. I used to get that a lot, especially when I was in the hospital. Like my patients, they would literally look at me and they would say, "Are you old enough to take care of me?" And I'm like, I did 4 years of college. I think so, right? I think so. I've been a nurse for all of these years. So yeah, I'm so sorry that this face looks young, but I'm so glad that you took that leap of faith and that you came here and that you got more than you expected. And that is the experience that we want to provide. We want to give you more and more and more and more, but there's only so much that we can do in an entire week. And that's why we have the master classes. So next week, we're going to have somebody come in and talk about taxes. We'll have Brian come in and talk about funding. We'll have Gerda come back and talk about the IULs and stuff. We'll have someone else come in and talk about real estate investing. We'll have our trader come in and talk about crypto. So we can't fit all of that in the workshop. So that's why this is a community and we need to stay together. And in this community, we're going to provide you everything that you need. You just let us know. Let us know how we could be a resource, and we will definitely be that resource for you. So thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything that they would like to say?
I want to just say it was an amazing journey. And beside I met you, it was a pleasure. I met a lot of wonderful people here. And I hope we can be a good team for future generation and help. And I mentioned it to you in the past. I didn't get any receipt yet, but I wanted to know how I can be part of the team and voluntarily help anybody I can. And you know the story.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate the fact that you are one, you're going to take action. I just know based off of like your questions and stuff and how we've talked, we've had side conversations on the phone. So I appreciate that. And the fact that you're so willing and able to serve in the community and volunteer and be a resource for others if if you feel that they need to. So thank you for coming in with that community mindset, because that's what we're here for. And that's what I just want you guys to know, that we're family. So there's a lot of you guys, I know you on first name basis. I know how many kids you have. I know where you live, all this stuff. And so, and you guys know that about me too. So just know that we have a family
I feel like
here.
say something.
And we're just going to continue to build our community an even stronger one. So thank you. Anybody else have anything that they would like to say?
Thank you, Christina. This is Angelique, and I was in the class last month, and I took my time to go over my stuff with a fine-tooth comb, and I found mistakes, and I'm so glad that I didn't rush, and I did it over and went over the videos a second time. And like they say, you always learn something different, something more, something you might have missed, you might have stepped away or wasn't listening or something like that. So I really appreciate you. I do really appreciate your patience. I just don't know how you do it, but I'm glad you're doing it. So I look forward to being a part of the community. I look forward to learning so much more and growing and becoming a millionaire like you guys and having all these different avenues. I'm so excited about it. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome, Angelique. Thank you so much for just always coming into the workshops, for adding value, for asking really good questions, and for trusting yourself to know that you can do this, and for you to, now have that confidence to know that you're ready to take action because you went over the recordings, you've attended the workshop. So thank you so much, Angelique. I appreciate you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, next we have Dream. Dream, do you have something that you would like to say?
Yes, ma'am, young lady. I don't know how, but you was giving free workshops, and I was on some of those. And yeah, it can't be spoken enough about your patience. You have Joe beat. Trust me when I tell you this. And I caught your discount, but your workshops are so good. And the people participating in your workshops, they are so willing to share and have those conversations that it it's the reason why I joined, and I caught the discount, and then I almost feel like I'm slighting you because it is worth every penny of the full price that you asked for. You understand me, Miss? You're God said you're a goddess, and I thank you. I'm getting started a little late, but late is better than never. You know, and you brought something to the community that is absolutely priceless. So, Miss Christina, I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much, Miss Dream. I appreciate you saying that because to be honest, like that is what we aim for, to over deliver. So we like the whole goal is to charge very little so that we can help the masses, so that we can help as many people as that we can. And for us to go above and beyond what you anticipated, what you expected, we want to give you more value. And so the fact that you're saying that we did that, I really, really, really appreciate that so much. So
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so glad that you decided to join the community. I'm so glad that you think that it's worth it and that the value is there. And I just want you to know, keep coming and participating in the workshops, because it's just going to help in the retention. It's going to help in all of this, you being able to just speak about trust and it rolling right off your tongue and you feeling so comfortable and confident and just, very smooth with it. So thank you so much, Miss Dream, for joining. I appreciate you.
Yeah, trust me, I appreciate you more than you will ever know.
Yes, we're here. Miss Angela, you have something you would like to say?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Christina. First of all, just thank you so much. I actually, you were part of a wealth creation with Marvin a while back, and back in I think March of last year, I actually, because of what I joined, I always had access, but this is the very first time I actually went through a workshop, and I was like, oh my God, it's like I just thank you and just your patience and the knowledge and with Gerda today, I just learned so much and I'm like, no, I need to get further involved in this community and learn more and be a part of everything and just thank you so much for your patience, your time, your thoroughness in asking the question. And you don't seem irritated about anybody's question. You'll take your time. You want to make sure you understand it and thoroughly answer it. And I'm just so appreciative of you. So I'll make sure I'll be on more things and get involved more. And I'm just like everybody else, overwhelmed with gratitude and appreciation for who you are and your character and just how you deliver everything. So just thank you so much.
You are so welcome, Miss Angela. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And I'm just super excited that you finally jumped on.
I know.
So I know that now that you got a taste of the workshop, you're gonna just keep coming back and showing up to the workshops and our master classes. So don't
Yes,
forget
ma'am.
that in between the workshops, we do have master classes. They're gonna be in the evening times. So we don't have like a set schedule, but like next week is we're gonna be talking about taxes, okay? And so just come into the master classes as well, because that's just additional information and resources that we want to give you. But I'm so glad that you finally decided to attend the workshop and that you had a really good experience. I don't want you to be overwhelmed with the information. I want you to just take your time, being able to understand everything, go through the recordings, and then you can come back to the next workshop as well. And sometimes when you attend multiple workshops, which is why you have lifetime access, you are able to connect the dots. And so that's what I want for you to experience. So thank you, Miss Angela.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, as far as the other master classes, will I continue to get the emails or once
Yeah,
I guess
yes. We're gonna send out a text message blast with the Zoom link and an email with it as well. So you'll receive both. And then are you in our Facebook or our Telegram? Because we're gonna post it there as well.
I'll make sure I join those. I haven't been, but I will join those.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and I love it. And then just get engaged with the community because there's 800 of us. So we have 800 trustees and it's growing every single day, every single week.
Wow.
So I know we're gonna touch 1,000 real soon, and then it's just gonna blow up like a force. So with that being said, I'm so glad that you're gonna get into the Facebook community so you can network with other people, especially people in your area, and then the Telegram chat too. So we'll be chatting back and forth.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Miss Angela. All right, next we have Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette. Do you have something?
Hello.
Hi.
So I didn't really participate as much in like engaging in conversation except for like today, before class fully started. But let me tell you, like this was absolutely amazing. I was another one of those kind of like skepticism type of thing where I think since like last May, I've really been in a season of just being bombarded with so much knowledge. And I'm like, oh my God, this has been out there for this long. I had no idea. But in my platforms, I saw that there was so much like gatekeeping. There's not a lot of patience, or there's yelling, or you need to do you need to read. It's like, okay, I get that, but this is new to me. I'm trying to take it all in. So being a part of a class like this, it was just like so organized and like intentional with us getting the information and being able to apply it. I said in our chat message earlier that I was one of those procrastinators, and it wasn't so much that I would just like sit on it, but it's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. But you're giving us the information in a manner to where we can receive it, understand it, and apply it. So for that, I am extremely grateful. I'm so thankful that I'll be able to pass this information down with my daughters and just really create a wealth that had not been tangible before. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Jeanette. I appreciate you being here and just joining the community. I know that we're going to hear more from you. So speak up, let us know who you are, where you're from. We want to get acquainted with you. And I'm glad that you're already building the foundation for your family so that you can set up your daughter to be your successor, right? So it takes one person in the family to be that generational curse breaker. And obviously that person is you, because now you're getting the foundation and you're going to pass the baton to the next generation, which is beautiful. And thank you for saying that it's organized. That's what we want. We just want for you to be able to have everything, concise in one place, and for you to be able to go through the flow of things and pretty much get it done in 1 week. We have seen people that they procrastinate, they sit on the information, they have analysis paralysis and stuff like that. And so we don't want that to be any of our community members. So we want to be able to hold you accountable. And so the way that we do that is by our team. They're going to follow up with you. So you're going to hear from them. And then we're also going to keep in contact in the Facebook community and in the Telegram chat, just to make sure that if you're stuck in any way, so you're going to be receiving text messages and email. If you're stuck, let us know and we're going to get you unstuck. Right? We want to hold your hand through the whole process. That's why I tell everybody, book that call with me now that you're done with the workshop, so that I can review everything, so that I could be your second set of eyes, so that I could also help you cross the T's and dot the I's, so that you can get your trust executed, get your bank accounts, get them funded, transfer your assets, okay? So just know that we're your accountability partners. Thank you, Miss Jeanette.
Amen. Thank you.
All righty. And then last, I have somebody here with my name. Her name is Christina, so we share the same name. How are you, my dear?
Hey, Christina.
Hey.
I just wanted to say a huge thank you for the incredible job that you've done. I went from knowing very little about trust to about 85% in just 5 days. So I just wanted to let you know that your teaching style is so clear, and I am amazed and very grateful for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, Miss Christina, and for you to say that, because that's what we want. We want to be thorough. We want to be clear. We want to be concise. So I always say this, but I'm going to say it again. The way, like my teaching style is, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to break it down to an elementary level. So I'm going to teach you like I would teach a third grader. And that's because I want you to really grasp this information. I want you to really know and understand the contents of your trust, how powerful they are, so that you can know exactly what's inside of the trust, what's not inside of the trust, so that you are able to, to operate it the right way, so that you're able to operate it efficiently, effectively, and you feel empowered in your position as a trustee. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to empower you, for you to know that you are a trustee and that you're now starting in this new path, in this new direction in trusteeship. So thank you so much, Miss Christine. I'm glad that you went from 0 to 85. That's exceptional. So just keep coming back to the workshops. That's what I want to reiterate. I don't know the word. So that's what I want to let everybody know. I've been talking so long that I'm forgetting words, but that's fine. So that's what I want everyone to know, is that you have lifetime access. And so a lot of you guys, this is not your first workshop. A lot of you guys, this is your first workshop. So just know you have lifetime access. We want you to keep coming back, so that you are able to feel more comfortable with this information. You're able to get your the questions to your answers. So with that being said, we are going to wrap it up. Is there anybody else that wants to say anything? If not, we are going to wrap it up, you guys. It is Friday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
made it
You're
so much.
welcome. All right, guys. So I have 2 pieces of homework for you. So no, 3 actually. You know what? I'm just going to stack it up there. Okay. So the first piece of homework is you're going to receive a survey. So please fill out the survey. You received it a few hours ago in your inbox. And so I would like you to fill it out just to give us additional feedback. So just answer the questions, let us know, how you feel, because it goes to the team and we're able to just gather data. So please fill out that survey. Thank you so much. The second thing is I want you to go ahead and book that call with Gerda so that you're able to get on her calendar and for her to be able to, to look at your whole financial picture to see what's your next step and what's the next direction. So don't forget to do that. So her links are inside of the chat. And then the third thing is for you to book the call with me so that once you feel like you're ready, you've already filled out your templates and you want me to hold you accountable and just double check everything for you, go ahead and book that call so that we are able to go through it together before you get everything notarized and you're opening up your bank accounts. So with that being said, we are having a masterclass next week. So Mr. Brian Dorsey, he wasn't able to confirm a date for next week, but he said the following week his schedule is wide open. So we're going to have one masterclass next week. That masterclass is going to be tax tips for business owners. And that is going to be our CPA that comes in and he's experienced with filing the trust taxes. Okay, so you're going to be able to meet him, speak with him, get on his calendar and things like that if you have any questions, okay? So come to our masterclass next week. It's going to be Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're going to receive the link. So we're going to put it in Telegram, Facebook, and it's going to go out to you via text message and email. The following week after that, we're going to have Mr. Brian Dorsey, who's going to teach you about business credit and business funding. And then the other masterclass that we have is our trader who's going to be educating you guys on cryptocurrency and Forex trading. So with that being said, just please be expecting communication from my team so that you're able to attend those master classes, okay? So with that being said, I hope that you guys have an amazing, beautiful rest of your weekend, rest of your evening today, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much and God bless you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for spending so much time with us.
You're welcome. This
Good
is quality
weekend.
time. That's my love
Thank
language,
you.
you
Thank
guys.
you.
Quality
Thank you.
time.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.